Hey everyone, it's Gamefruitpulp, and welcome back to our final episode of the MLB Home Run Derby Showcase series. Today we're back looking at our final division in this map, which is built by the Misfit Society, the American League East, home of the Blue Jays, and home of some really awesome stadiums. So I'm really looking forward to looking at all of these with you guys. If you do enjoy this video and if you enjoyed this series, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share the channel with your friends. Hopping right into it, we're starting off with Yankee Stadium, home obviously of the New York Yankees. So Yankee Stadium is a baseball park that's located in Concourse, Bronx, New York City, and it's home of the Yankees as well as New York City FC, which is a Major League Soccer team. The stadium was built in 2006, and it opened on April 2nd, 2009, 12 years ago. Which was a sort of reopening, I suppose, as they, I believe, basically tore down the whole stadium and then rebuilt a new one in the same place, is my understanding. The stadium cost $2.3 billion to build, so by far the most expensive we've seen, and for baseball has a capacity of 46,357 people. As I mentioned before, it is home of the New York Yankees as well as New York City FC, and it also has been home to the Pinstripe Bowl of NCAA football. The old stadium was opened in 1923 in the same location and was torn down in 2008 with the new one being built in its place. And obviously, because the park is so old, there's been a bunch of things that have happened there, but we're going to be looking only at the things that have happened since the new Yankee Stadium was rebuilt. There's been half a dozen soccer games, mostly World Football Challenges, as well as a couple international and club friendlies. Chelsea has played here, Liverpool has played in the stadium, Manchester City, and Republic of Ireland as well as Spain had a international friendly as well. There's been quite a few football games, one a year for the Yankee Bowl, or the Pinstripe Bowl I should say, and there has been 2 outdoor games as part of the 2014 NHL Stadium Series between the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils, and about a dozen concerts as well. That's pretty much it for Yankee Stadium. Obviously a pretty historic stadium in the sense of what is not only there now, but what was there before in the original Yankee Stadium. And a nice stadium to start us off with. Very classic baseball-esque design, but still very well built, obviously, by the Misfit Society. They did a great job on all of them, and still detailed enough to be interesting, in my opinion. So all the stadiums in the AL East, I think, are quite nice. And moving on from the new Yankee Stadium, we're going now to one of the most historic places in baseball, Fenway Park. Fenway Park is located in Boston, Massachusetts, near Kenmore Square. And since 1912, it has been home for the Boston Red Sox. And since 1953, its only Major League Baseball franchise. The stadium was built in 1912, opening on April 20th, so 109 years old. And during that time, it was home to multiple baseball teams and multiple other interesting things as well. So Boston Red Sox have been playing there since 1912, as I mentioned earlier. In addition, the Boston Braves, who are currently the Atlanta Braves, played their inaugural season of 1945-15 in Fenway Park as well. The Boston Redskins, which became the Washington Redskins of the National Football League, played there from 1933 to 1936. And the Boston Yanks played there, which is another NFL team, from 1994 to 1948. In addition, the Fenway Bowl is planned for this year, which is going to be a new NCAA final. The cost of this stadium was $650,000 because it was so old. As I mentioned, it was opened in 1912, but it was renovated in 1988, 2002 to 2011, as well as 2017, and was expanded to be made larger in 1934, 1946, 2002 to 2011, and 2017 as well. Obviously, the building is super old. There's been a ton of stuff there, so we're not going to go through that all today. The main sort of feature of Fenway Park would be the Green Monster in left field, which was well captured in this build as well. Moving on to the Trop, or Tropicana Field, which is located in St. Petersburg, Florida. This stadium is the one that I can say for certain is nicer in this version of the DLC map than it is in real life. The Trop is not a super popular stadium amongst Major League Baseball. It was built in 1986 and opened on March 3rd, 1990. It cost $130 million to build and is home of, right now, the Tampa Bay Rays, but at one point was also home to the Tampa Bay Lightning NHL team for 3 seasons and hosted the St. Petersburg Bowl for about 11 years. It's a field that is critiqued quite heavily in baseball simply because of its, first of all, it is low. The ceiling is low, so you get fly balls hitting the ceiling and things like that. Also, it has turf, which is one of the only fields, with the exception, or as well as, I should say, the Rogers Center, to have turf, which is obviously not ideal either. There's no information on concerts really there, other than the fact that there has been concerts, and there has been professional wrestling there as well as some motorsports stuff. But again, this is probably the most well-built stadium in the project, simply because it captured the roof so perfectly and made it look better than it actually did. Moving on now to Camden Yards and my favorite logo, but not my favorite team, the Baltimore Orioles. Camden Yards, or Oriole Park, is located in Baltimore, Maryland, and is home of the Baltimore Orioles. It is one of the first of the retro Major League ballparks constructed during the 1990s to early 2000s, and it was completed in 1992 to replace Memorial Stadium. It opened on April 6, 1992, at a construction cost of $110 million. It is only home to the Baltimore Orioles. No other Major League team has played any amount of time in this stadium. There's only been one concert in this stadium, and that was in 2019. It was Billy Joel, and it had an attendance of 39,246. And Pope John Paul II had a mass at Camden Yards on October 8th, 1995. Other than that, there's not really too much to talk about with Camden Yards in the sense of history. The stadium itself, again, well built. You have the cool sort of brick building on down the right field line, which is well captured here, and that's what sort of is the most notable thing about Camden Yards. That's what, when you're watching a baseball game, your sort of attention is drawn to, because that's what makes it stand out from other stadiums. And that's what I did like about the American League East, is each stadium has something unique about it, which is obviously, as this is our last video in the series, you saw that some of the other stadiums don't have that same sort of aesthetic. Now, moving on to our last showcase in this series, I saved the best for last with the hometown bias, and of course the Rogers Center, or the Skydome as everyone from Toronto actually calls it. The Skydome is a multi-purpose retractable roof stadium in downtown Toronto. It is situated just southwest of the CN Tower near the north shore of Lake Ontario. It opened in 1989 on the former railway lands and is home of the Toronto Blue Jays. It is also previously home of the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League and the Toronto Raptors of the National Basketball Association. The Buffalo Bills have also played a couple games at Rogers Center. The total construction cost was $570 million, and as I mentioned, it opened on June 3rd, 1989. The Argos played there from 1989 to 2015, and the Raptors played there from their inaugural season in 1995 until 1999. It's also home of it was home of the International Bowl from 2007 to 2008, and it at the time was the only postseason NCAA football to be played outside of the United States. The capacity currently for the Rogers Center, well, currently it's 15,000 because of COVID restrictions, but outside of COVID, the capacity is 49,282 people. Obviously, the main feature of this building is the retractable roof. In addition to baseball, basketball, and football, there's also been a large number of soccer games played in this stadium. In 1995, it was home of the Skydome Cup, which is a multi-country friendly between Portugal, Denmark, and Canadian football. There's been numerous club friendlies. The CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinal between TFC and the LA Galaxy was played in the Skydome on March 7th, 2012. And most recently, it was home to a Brazil-Chile friendly on November 19th, 2013. Monster Jam is also held in the Rogers Center, and there's been some other sports such as cricket, Gaelic football, hurling, Australian rules football, and tennis held in the Rogers Center. There's been a good number of concerts as well, no list available for that, but quite a few things have happened at our lovely Skydome over the years. But that is going to be everything. Obviously, this building, extremely well done. Those of you who are familiar with Toronto, which is most of you, will recognize how well done it was by the Misfit Society, and really this entire project was quite well built. So this is the end of the series, the first series I've ever done on my channel that had an actual conclusion. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed showcasing these builds, and again, kudos to the Misfits Society for doing such an incredible job building them. If you guys did enjoy the series, be sure to let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and share the channel with some of your friends. For the last time, I leave you with Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Gamefruitpulp, and I'll catch you guys all later.